Well, I can't afford no more than I got 4 kids already, but maybe one day I'll buy one. What's going on, guys? I haven't done a video live in a minute, but I figured I would get on here and talk a little bit. Um, you guys already know they hired a new coach, and his philosophy is a lot different than that of Brian Flores, so it's causing some buzz around the facility and the fan base with the excitement building about next season. For me, more, I guess you could say, optimistic, but I do look forward to the next season that's going to be happening. Oh man! I also look forward to the possibility of them revamping the offense and making Tua's life a lot better. Um, Hopefully, they will actually commit to a real running game and get that off the ground and running, so that he won't have to do as much in terms of throwing the ball 30 times a game to help them win, because that's not what his game is predicated on. I mean, he could throw at least 20 to 25 times, and you guys can win. You know. Oh, oh man. Maybe it'll come out that boy. Retired your boat. A Dalmatian. Max. That's okay.
Close the door. Oh, it's a Dalmatian.
Yeah. How you gonna say closed door and you gonna say it's a Dalmatian? Anyway, so the idea is to um, more than likely, hopefully, get him back into a situation where he can be just as effective. No, I'm not doing that. Just as effective as he was in college. Preferably hitting play action passes. Um, Keeping the defense honest. Having a balanced offensive attack. Making plays down the field. Short, intermediate, and long. Because a lot of people question his arm strength, and they talk about how he can't, throw deep, or um, how he can't make certain throws, how he can't go past the, all those shoes are now. How he can't go past his first read, which is all total lies. I mean, I've watched his game film. He goes to at least his third, maybe the fourth read before he releases the ball, depending on the time he has in the pocket. Which is another comment I made the other day. If you give him more than 2 seconds, he'll go through his progressions and make the right pass. But when he doesn't have the time, his first read, second read, bam. Or sometimes his first read, bam. It's based on the pressure. If he knows it's going to be constant, his first read, the ball's coming out. So if it's a short route, it could be a long route developing. But if it's, if he got pressure and he's got to have less than 2 seconds to throw the ball, who do you think will get the ball? And you don't need gloves, man. Put the gloves in your book bag.
Oh, yeah.
But Mike McDaniel seems to be a proven offensive guru. His days in San Francisco, he actually called a plays that Mike Shanahan relayed on the field, and you saw the productivity. Look at how far they got in the postseason. All the way to the NFC Championship game, where the final drive. I mean, Jimmy G, of course, he threw that ridiculous pick, but outside of that, the offense was very, very balanced. And they had a physical wide receiver, playmaker, in Debo Samuel. They had Terry Kittle. They had a real good running back in Elijah. I think his name was Elijah. I forgot his last name, but very reliable running back, very good tight ends, very solid offensive line, and all that helped Jimmy G get to where he was, which is, he beat Aaron Rodgers. They beat
No.
they beat they beat Aaron Rodgers. I forget who else they beat. They beat somebody else before they beat him, and that led to the deep playoff run that they made, which is they was literally one snap away or one prevented. Well, they turned the ball over, but they was one. They was literally a quarter away from the Super Bowl. That's how proficient this offense was until they, started making mistakes. But can Miami get to that level? Absolutely. Their defense, although to me their defense is not as great or as dominant, it does. Where'd you go with that mess, man? Good lord. Tyson, go upstairs. Go upstairs. But their defense, to me, their defense is predicated on pressure. If they couldn't get a blitz going, or um, if they couldn't blitz or get pressure on the quarterback, then you could eat their defense up. Because only they played like a 4-3 zone, so they were exposed a lot against teams that can actually handle the blitz package and deliver the ball. Go up the stairs. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do this year with a new look, new defensive. Well, no, the defensive coordinator remained the same. They got new DB coaches, new linebacking coach. So it's gonna be interesting to see the philosophy that they instill on the defense. Hopefully, they get a legitimate edge rusher to go alongside Phillips and to help Raekwon Davis and Christian Wilkinson in the middle to predicate. They need a front four that can actually make pressure, kind of like the Rams' defensive line. They relied on the front four very good because of um, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, and Ashawn Robinson. Those four men constantly kept pressure on the offense. So if you can get home with your front four, then the rest of your defense will have an easier time defending the field. If Miami can get to that point, then they won't have to rely on their secondary. Led by Javon Holland and Brandon Jones. They won't have to rely on their secondary at all. Oh yeah, Xavier Howard and Brandon Jones. So they won't have to work as hard if they get pressure on the quarterback constantly, or at least at bare minimum 60% of the time. If if like one or two drives, you're getting pressure and getting sacks and producing turnovers or producing losses down, then your defense is winning. They're having an easier day. But they're getting torched, and getting ran up and down all over the field long, then it's gonna be a long day for your defense. So hopefully with Mike McDaniels, hopefully he will instill an offense that gives Tua a better comfortability level with how he calls cadence and you know how he surveys the defense to make the right call, to make the right throw. RJ got the same problem, don't you? Every time I go live, y'all be looking over here. Oh, Lord, dude. Anyway, makes the right call to you know find open receiver, and hopefully his guys will stay healthy. Because that was the biggest thing his last 2 years. People couldn't stay healthy. They got him Jalen Waddle, and he stayed healthy the whole season. Then he had, I can't say the dude's name, saved my life. Um, I think it was Mike Krzyzewski or something like that. I probably said it wrong, but his tight end, and he had Mac Hollins who stayed healthy. But Preston Williams, Devontae Parker, Albert Wilson, Will Fuller, of all people, who was hurt the rest of the season. And his receiver core just couldn't stay healthy. They had to pick up practice squad receivers active into the active roster to fill those slots. And that's a lot to ask for people who not normally with the actual team to get up there and, perform on a week in, week out basis when they're new to the system or when they're new to, how things are ran on the active roster side. So it was an adjustment, but I think his season was still productive. Could he done better? I mean, yeah, but you got to look at the factors around it. His line was trash. He had no running game for the last 3 weeks of the season when he had Duke Johnson. And like I said, the receivers can stay healthy, so you're asking him to do a lot with next to nothing. Now, if he put up 2,600 yards with next to nothing. Now, and the year before that, his rookie year, put up 1,800. Now, imagine just gave him a semblance of an offensive line, and receivers, like at least two receivers. He gave him Waddle, and he put up 1,000 yards with over 100 catches. So Tua maximized that one player. He maxed him out. So imagine you give him, you know, another receiver like a Williamson or somebody like that can stretch the field, and let Jalen Water go deep. I mean, the kid can blow by them to anybody. So let him run deep routes. That's gonna get him open and get him down the field further. Where Tua can lob it over his head and he go get it and keep going. It'd be nice to actually see that, but we'll see what they do in terms of this offense, how they're gonna install the plays and the packages and stuff like that. I want to see pistol formations and some shotgun plays and I formation, all kind of stuff, man. You know, I don't want to see strong guy and all that stuff because they don't have a complimentary running game right now. I mean, Duke Johnson's the only guy they got, but other than that, they need to draft every down back to complement Duke Johnson. So he's not doing it all because he averages at least 8 yards a carry when he do touch the ball. But if you can get it back to average at least 6, and Duke is averaging 8, you got a recipe for a successful offensive balanced attack. Because without the running game, you saw in the Tennessee game what happened. They just pinned theirs back and came after him. He threw it 38 times and barely cracked 200 yards. That's not a recipe for success, no matter what quarterback you have. Like Tom Brady against the Rams, he threw 30 sometimes, barely cracked 250 yards, and they lost. The only reason why they stayed in the game because the Rams thrown the ball 4 different times. So other than that, it would have been a blowout. Same with what happened with the Dolphins. They lost 34-3 because they had turnovers and then they didn't run the ball anymore. So it happens. But we'll see what happens this year. Uh, as far as the draft goes, what's the kid's name? Michigan State back. He seems decent. And who's the other running back? Yeah, Tank Beasley, the kid out of Auburn. If he actually becomes available, it wouldn't be a bad pick for the Dolphins. He's a physical back that can catch the ball. He can make holes, and he gets yards at the contact pretty good. So the Walker kid from Michigan State or Tank Beasley. Um, I'm an Alabama fan, so I would have said Brian Robinson, but then I looked at him playing. It's like he wouldn't be a good fit at all. Now either Mechie or the other kid Williamson, the two receivers, they would be a good fit because they both can stretch the field. They both can run routes really, really well. Except Williamson can get deep. Mechie can run every route underneath. He can do all the other routes that you need him to do to get first down. So he's more like a possession receiver. So it wouldn't either one of them wouldn't be a bad pick because Waddle's the home run guy. You need a guy to be a possession type guy. They can like Devontae Parker is. Except you wouldn't be lobbing the ball to Mechie. You be throwing it to a point where he's supposed to be at. He got to get the ball. So, but he'll be a decent pick too. But yeah, other than that, I don't think they just got to work on this offensive line and free agency. And then the draft, I would just focus on running backs, a linebacker, an edge rusher, um, a receiver, and maybe an offensive guard or something like that. Or at least a right tackle because Jesse Davis he was getting to a beat bad. Like, thank God he only took 29 sacks. If he took what Joe Burrow took, he would have got hurt the rest of the year. Which is another thing I don't get about people. They talk about how Joe Burrow got sacked 51 times in the regular season, but then he went to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow and two are two different players, and not to mention Joe Burrow 6'4". So 6'4" versus 6'1" is a big difference in terms of being a quarterback because you can see where the pressure's coming from. Most times, Tua has to kind of like step back to you know uh, to evaluate the defense to see what they're trying to do versus what versus Joe Burrow who can get in the center and actually see what's going on over the line of scrimmage. Tua doesn't always have the luxury. So before he gets on the center, he makes the proper call, the proper cadences, the proper protection. It goes from there. So and Joe Burrow took 51 sacks because he don't move in the pocket. Whereas you watch Tua play, his pocket presence and his awareness to where the pressure's coming from, or even when it's getting there, he can maneuver around the pocket to make the correct, lane to step into to make the throw. Which is why he only got sacked 29 times. So, ooh, confessions. But anyway, yeah. Um, I look forward to seeing what they're gonna do this year. So I'll be following the training camps and OTAs and stuff like that. See how it pans out, and then can't wait for the first regular season game. I'm kind of like live stream a little bit, and then go from there. But I just want to look. I just want to see what they do in terms of free agency and draft. Those two things will determine where this team goes. Because I feel like this third year they're going to take off with Mike McDaniels at the helm. But I want to see a decent postseason run. That's all I'm asking for. Is at least at worst case scenario, a division, um, a divisional playoff matchup. At best case, hey, AFC Championship game. Because I know they're gonna play a wild card. Hopefully, they can win that game, going to the divisional. Hopefully they'll be against a decent opponent. Play that game. Maybe you win that divisional round. You make the AFC Championship game. You can play the Chiefs or the Titans. No, the Chiefs or the Bengals. If you beat the Bengals once in the regular season, you see them again. You're probably going to the playoff game for the AFC Championship game, which would be great for Miami fans because hey, I mean, yeah, Hard Rock Stadium will be rocking, and it's gonna be warm down there too. So, but anyway, guys, that's my time. I've kind of like talked enough. I'm gonna do another video tomorrow talking about the coaching staff, and I'm gonna do a little research and talk about them and go over what I think they should be doing with this team. But that's my time, guys. Peace.